Welcome to Thou Shalt Not Kill, a podcast about marriage. Hosted by Scott and Ann Travis, this show speaks right to the heart of the challenges that couples face. As marriage veterans of 35 years, they've seen some shit, and they want to help you avoid the pitfalls that could fuck up your marriage. It's time to get your love affair with your spouse back on track to the place you've always hoped it would be, which is starting with the first rule: thou shalt not kill. Here's your hosts, Scott and Ann.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, and welcome to Thou Shalt Not Kill,
A podcast on marriage. Hey, do you want to, we've got a new sponsor. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta love your sponsors.
Maybe they didn't sign up yet. We found the push button.
We're enjoying our soundboard.
Okay.
So today's topic,
It's going to be on
affection.
affection.
Do you need more affection? Do you want less affection? I mean, who really wants less affection? But maybe you're out there. Let's address it. I personally love affection.
Okay.
How do you feel about affection?
This is a back and forth. Do you like it? No, I don't like it. Well, my love language is
Physical touch, so
I think that would be huge as far as affection.
yes, me too.
So affection.
Let's talk about it. So how do you guys feel about affection? I mean, some people are into public displays of affection. Some people are not. Are you affectionate in private? Are you one of those people that doesn't require affection? Are there people out there that don't require affection?
Well, I have to say this, honey. This is a podcast, and we don't have a studio audience, and we have nobody sitting here. So we're asking a rhetorical question. I think
Yes.
we have to answer this question as far as our relationship and our affection.
I like how affectionate you are with me. Let's start with that.
Okay. Did you always like how affectionate I was?
You weren't always as affectionate as you are now. But yes, I've always felt that you were an affectionate person, and I've always liked it.
I feel as though our affection has come. I think that we've learned to. I think that's stupid. I don't think we've learned anything. I think either you want. I think either you want someone. Well, I think that either you want someone to be with you that's affectionate, or you don't. There's some people that. I mean, I remember one time we went to. We were in Little League with and we went out to Lamppost Pizza. Uh-huh. And remember that couple that was sitting there, and it's kind of interesting looking back on it now because they were just sitting there eating pizza. Like the husband was not talking to her, didn't touch her, didn't say anything to her. She was just eating her pizza, not saying anything. And I remember back then, do you remember what I'm talking about?
I don't, but I can remember other times that we've been out to dinner watching other couples because I love to observe other people.
You like to people watch?
And they're eating and they're not saying a word to each other. They're not even looking at each other.
Right. I don't think anybody could say that about us.
I don't think so either.
They know that we're together, and I'm always touching. I have to touch. It's like
We touch a lot.
yeah, anywhere, anytime. It's like I have to be affectionate.
One of the things I love about you is when you touch me, your hands are always warm.
And what's weird about that is you're always cold to me.
But I love that warmth that comes from you. And I think you like the coolness that comes from me. But
Yeah.
we like to hold hands a lot. We embrace a lot. We kiss a lot. And by kissing, it's usually just a peck. It's not like this big, long, drawn-out make-out session. Not that I'm opposed to those. Those are great, too. But
I find it interesting that some people are like behind the closed doors, like it just goes to PDA, public display. I don't mind it. Do you?
no, I like it. I like holding your hand and stuff in public.
But I mean, do you mind seeing other people?
No, I like when I see other people holding hands and stuff.
Anybody?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to get into that whole can of worms, but yeah, I mean, I think affection is great on all levels, really.
Okay. So how do you want to approach this podcast on affection?
I wish we had like a call-in line, or people could. I would like some more interaction with people that are listening, and we need
that'll come.
Okay. How do I want to elaborate on affection?
Yeah.
I think sometimes people, so for me, if I craved more affection, and I wasn't getting it, I would encourage myself to talk to you about it. Let's start with that.
Do you think that that's where a lot of relationships go wrong? If a man doesn't give his woman affection that she's looking for?
Well, you assume that it's a woman looking for affection. It might be the man looking for affection.
I'm asking the question. You can ask me whatever question you want.
Yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of people that are hungering for affection and they're not getting it.
How would you suggest? And I know the answer, but I'm just kind of going back and forth with you because you wanted to talk about this. How do you think a woman can show a man that she wants more affection?
By initiating affection,
by
being affectionate. I think a woman can walk up to her partner and give him a kiss or ruffle his hair or put her arm around him and give him a squeeze, grab his hand. I mean, there's a million different ways that you can show affection.
I think from a man's standpoint, and I guess I'm talking about us, and I can see it in other people. I think that there's a lot of guys that want more affection, but they don't know how to go about it.
I think that's interesting. I think you're probably right.
Yeah. I think there's almost I guess I'll say a taboo. I think there's a taboo of masculinity in men that think that if they have to go up to their woman and show vulnerability, then they're less.
You know, this is kind of going off topic, which is typical for us. That's fine. Maybe we should have a show on tangents. And that for one, that
keep
would
on the damn subject for Christ's sake. I was going somewhere and then you fucking went.
I apologize.
Sideways.
I think there is nothing cuter or sexier than a guy that is totally into his woman. I think that is such an attractive trait.
Okay.
And hang on one sec. And I think that it shows a lot of strength for a man to be openly affectionate with his woman, or indulgent or attentive. I think those are all great qualities in a man that he shows to a woman that he's into.
Okay, but where I'm going with this is I think that many women don't let the man do that. I think that a lot of women think that if I'll just say for us, like, I'll come up behind you and grab your ass. Mm-hmm. I'll come up behind you. I'll grab your stomach. I'll come up and grab the inside of your leg. I'll come up and just put my hand around and grab your boob. I think, and we can go off on this, I think that many women feel that in a certain sense, I think that many women don't want that because they're being objectified. And I'll use that word.
I think that's a misconception. I think some women do feel objectified. I'm not saying that nobody feels like that. I think there are women that are like that feel objectified. I see like the forms that you just described, grabbing your ass, grabbing the inside of your leg, grabbing a boob, that kind of thing. To me, that's more like
running my hands through your hair.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever that is. No,
whatever.
Hang on, I'm addressing what you just said. I think those things are more playful than affectionate.
Okay.
I think affection falls in there. I think that a man that's into his woman, or a woman that's into her man, they want to touch each other.
So that's good. So
I think that's a natural segue.
I'm glad that you're saying that, because a lot of times that's what a guy think affection is. So I think that's good that I said those things, because coming from a woman's standpoint, that they're playful, they're not affection. Like I think that if I lift the back of your hair, and I'll just say this, if I put my hand on the nape of your neck and the back of your hair and put my hand there, that I think a woman sees more as affection as opposed to grabbing a boob.
I think that's affectionate, and I also think that is a way of
opening the door,
staking your claim, kind of.
Sure.
I think that when a man grabs the nape of your neck, it's kind of, or touches the nape of your neck, it's kind of an ownership thing, which I'm totally fine with. I don't care. I love that. I love that you want to stake your claim, or show some kind of, maybe it's even dominance to some degree. I like that. That doesn't bother me. We have a weird thing too, where I'll walk up to Scott, I'll pull up his shirt, I'll pull up my shirt, and we rub bellies. Yeah. I'm sure to him it's like ridiculous.
No,
he always does it. We always do it. And it's just,
but that's just another form of, I think that we just like to touch each other. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. But I also can say that it's gotten a lot more affectionate now that we're just together. So let's go back to when we had kids in the house. It wasn't that easy because there was so many more things going on. So the times when you show affection, when you have a house full of kids, or when you're running off to go to the baseball game or the soccer practice or whatever else it is, I think those times of affection are a lot smaller, but I think they need to be more significant.
They need to be more intentional. I think, like for me, when the children were little, like I'm talking toddler and below, like babies to toddlers. Well, I nursed all 3 of our children.
4. I'm still your baby.
Oh my God. I'm like, what? Okay. Okay. 4. But anyway, when you have a little sweaty baby on you all day and they're sucking on your boob and you're doing all these things, my feelings of needing affection aren't as great. At that point, at the end of the day, I'm tired. I don't necessarily even want to be touched for a little bit. And that's just a weird stage in life. And it's just because you're getting all that physical touch from the baby, I think. I don't know. Turn that off. You're driving me crazy with that. Please. Thank you, sweetie. He's videotaping us, and all I can see is I think my arms look fat. Okay, so go on.
Go on.
So I think when your children are little and they're needier and you need to be there and it's a lot of hands-on, it's different. And then as your kids get older and as your relationship progresses.
So help me understand this. Now that we don't have kids in the house and there's people out there that have kids in the house, what would you accept or what would you think if I came on to you with the kids showing affection, not that I want to get laid or anything else, but showing affection? What would be a help for guys to show affection, knowing that you've had a kid on your tit all day and you've been around kids? What could a guy do to his girl to show that he's showing affection to her? Help the guys out.
I think a kiss on the cheek. I think a hug. I think, hey, honey, how was your day? Type thing. I think at that point, nothing. If it's in the middle of the day and you've got kids in the kitchen and that kind of thing, keep the sexuality out of it. I don't care so much about the kids are going to pick up on sexuality. I just mean that as a mother, it's uncomfortable if there's something sexual going on with the kids in the room. That's me personally. It's like, but for you to come up and give me a hug or kiss or, you look cute today or something like that, I mean, goes a long way, I think.
So,
but if you come in there and you come from behind me and you're grabbing my boob and you're trying to, suck my neck or something, and the kids are standing 3 feet from me, huge turn off for me.
But let me say this though, our kids always saw us affectionate.
Yeah. I'm talking sexual versus affectionate.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But you're just, what I'm getting
They
at,
did see us affectionate.
But what
we
I'm
always
getting at
held
is
hands.
like, you're saying, peck on the lips, say, how was your day? That's bullshit. I would still come up to you, grab you, and ravage you.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I would still come up, whether the kids were around or not, I would drop what I was doing and give you a passionate kiss.
Yeah, I love that. That's different. I like that.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like there was an intent there for affection. It wasn't a sexual affection. I mean, obviously, I'm sorry guys, but I am a very handsy person and my wife's body is mine. That's plain and simple. I mean, that's
I agree with that. But do you understand that? Do you understand what I?
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand, but I don't want it to.
But I do want you to feel like you can always passionately kiss me.
Right. I don't want you to go out there and say, "Well, just say how was your day, honey," and give me a kiss on the lips. It's like, oh, fuck that. And so you're still my wife.
What I described was pretty boring.
Yeah, that's boring shit, and that didn't happen. But our kids always.
But the point I was making is when the kids are younger, you're physically hands on with them all the time.
Right.
It's just not where your head's at in the middle of the day. We'll talk about it later at night.
Right.
But there's always room for affection.
But our kids would get to the point, it's like, gosh, guys, stop.
Get a room.
Yeah, because we would kiss. But I mean, it's like, I think a passionate kiss, I think, whatever you want to call it, a French kiss, a tongue kiss, whatever it is. But it's like, I don't want to just come up and peck you because that's just a waste of time.
Okay.
But don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because then it comes down to, it's like, well, guys, in my opinion, it's like, was that all you got to give?
But here's the thing. I don't want to send these guys out on a quest for affection and your wife has been with kids all day, wiping boogers, nursing, cleaning butts, doing all this stuff and that she's going to be all excited if you walk up behind her and grab her boob.
No,
Because I think that
I agree
there's a
with
high
that.
likelihood at that point she's going to be annoyed.
Your hands
with
are going to
that.
get slapped. I've had them many times. No, I agree with that. But I'm just saying is it's,
What were we saying earlier? Read the room.
yeah, read the room.
Read the room.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still, what's the topic on? Affection.
Affection.
Right? So I still think you need to be affectionate, whether there's kids around, whether your mom and dad are around, whether...
No, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I'm just
Okay.
saying keep it more on the affection side with the kids in the room
And
than
non-sexual.
on the sexual. And that's my personal thing. Maybe you guys don't care about that. I don't know. For me, it just made me feel awkward
Right. I mean,
and had the opposite. It made me feel like I didn't want to go there.
there's many times that obviously I push the limit on that. And I know that.
No, not really. You didn't annoy me.
No.
Your big thing is always grabbing my boobs. And
Right.
so a lot of times I'll swat your hand away, but
I guilty as charged.
yeah, I'm guilty of that too.
Grabbing your boobs?
No, swatting your hand away.
I wish you was grabbing your boobs.
You want me to grab my own boobs?
Sure.
Okay.
No. So the affection thing, I'm just trying to get it out there because as a guy, I mean, I don't want to say as a guy, but I mean, we're sexual beings and want to have sex. I mean, and again, I just want to touch you.
I love that.
But I want it to be reciprocated in the fact in the right place, right time, know the crowd, know the room, read
Yeah.
the room. I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, it's 99% of that is common sense.
Right. As far as out in public, I know we kind of touched on it, but as far as out in public and affection, I think that we're very affectionate. I guess for me is when I'm with Ann, I really can give two shits what you think about us. Whether I kiss her, whether I grab her butt, whether I, hold her hand or act like a 2-year-old, I could give two shits what you think because
Right.
I'm pretty secure in who I am in our relationship, and I think that that's where you have to be. And I think that if you know each other well enough to know what the triggers are, it's almost knowing what affection's going to get you to where you want to go if you want to take it further. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, walking up to you in, the supermarket saying, "Hey, grab your boob, I'm ready." When we get home, it's like, no, just, warm it up. It's like turn the oven on a little bit, kind of make it happen a little bit. And then, appropriate time, appropriate place. Not that I can say we've always been the appropriate time and the appropriate
we haven't
place.
always been appropriate. I don't know. For me, I just love that you grab my hand when we're out.
Yeah.
That you grab my hand. That you always open
We
the
always
door.
touch.
And we touch all the time. Whether we're sitting next to each other, our knees are touching, or But it's funny because at the end of the day, we'll be on opposite ends of the couch.
Well, here's the thing too, is we have a queen size bed. We've always had a queen size bed. People go, "Oh my gosh, I love the space, everything." It's like, no, we literally can sleep on a double bed.
Oh, we could easily.
We have a routine on how we go to sleep. I'm sure you guys all have the routine. Some people don't like to be touched, everything else. Literally, we will
love to spoon.
We will sweat all night together. It will just be, sweat fest after sweat fest, whether it's hot or cold, because we're always next to each
Well,
other.
this morning we were spooning.
Yeah.
You came up behind me. I love it. We were spooning, and I started getting really hot. So I pulled the covers off of myself. I didn't back away from Scott, although that's admissible. I mean, if you're sweating to death, speak up for yourself. But for me, it was like, I'll just throw the covers off, then we can keep spooning. And
Well, and the one thing I'll take this to the next step. I think I got a lot of that in the relationship that my grandparents had, because I always remember my grandfather wanting to touch my grandmother. Always, he would always touch her.
I love that.
Yeah, kind of get emotional here for a second.
Okay, I'll cover the conversation so you get it back under
So,
control.
and I always remember my grandpa would be driving the car and he would always reach over and say contact, and that was their word when he needed to be touched, or she would do that too.
That's cute.
So it's like, hey, contact, and it was like one of those things. It's almost like you can have something within your own relationship, or a look, or snap a finger, or a wink, or a simple word like contact.
Yeah.
And when I can see it right now, wherever they were, I remember my grandma was in the back seat and my grandpa was in the front seat, and he would say contact and reach his hand back, and it was like they knew they had to touch each other. So it's one of those things where I think I was brought up in a very affectionate family. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, and I still, to this day, I'll still kiss, when my kids are around, I'll still kiss my kids. I still kiss my mom. I still kiss my dad. I mean, it's like, I'm a hugger. So if you meet me and you go to reach your hand out, 99.9% of the time I'll go for a hug. I try and do the church hug. I don't want to feel your boobs. I like my wife's. I'll give you, if you're a woman, I'll do the church hug, or I'll bear hug. It's just, I'm respectful in that, but I'm a very physical person.
It's funny that you say that about the church hug. I totally get it.
Yeah, church hug. I mean, it's like, and again, with our friends, I mean, I can think of all of our friends. I mean, Corey and Amanda. I mean, I kiss Amanda,
I find sometimes when you're hugging another man, it's easier to hug him from the side. Like just walk up and kind of put your arm around his waist and give him a side squeeze and then.
But then I get side boob.
Well, there's a lot less side boob than there is frontal boob.
Not on you.
Yeah, I have a lot more boob on the front than on the side.
Okay. If I do church hug to the front, I don't think I touch boob. I try not to. In respect.
Well, I try not
if you
to
come
too.
up and bear hug me, I'm going to damn straight, I'm going to bear hug you back.
I try not to too, but my arms are only so long. That's why for me.
Short arms, big boobs, my kind of woman.
Just to go in from the side.
I gotcha.
It's funny.
So
that is awkward. That is funny that you bring that up. But yes, church hugs are great.
Church hugs are great. So it's just a matter of affection. And guys, I think if we were honest, I know that this is a blanket statement, but I think that guys crave affection just as much as women do.
I think you're right.
I think that if a woman, I'm just saying, I'll say it this way. If my wife would just come up and touch me, which if you haven't gotten anything out of this podcast, that happens all the time. I think that if I was a guy and I had a woman that wasn't that way, the way to turn my head and to kind of, if you want to understand me, I just want to be touched. And I think most people want that to touch, especially now with all this bullshit that's going on. And I mean,
oh my God,
man, the contact with people is going to be so craved. And I think that in a relationship, you need to touch each other.
Well, it's going to get so weird here because they're readdressing all this COVID crap and blah, blah, blah.
I don't even bring that name up.
What I'm saying is, though, now everybody's supposed to social distance.
I know, but
we don't social
this
distance.
This podcast is going to go on long after this fucking whatever they call it.
No,
so
I get that, but
that's
back to the thing.
Affection. Show affection. Have boundaries. Tell each other what you want.
If you want more affection, communicate it with your partner. Or just start being more affectionate. And if it's not being well received, then at that point, I would suggest that you sit down and discuss it. And I really, this book was so helpful for us. Is it called The 5 Love Languages? I loved that book because it just gave me a lot of insight into not just Scott, but to myself.
100%. And I think that if you are someone, and I'm not a doctor, I don't profess to be one, blah, blah, blah. But I honestly think that if you were someone that didn't have a lot of affection as a younger person, I think that we all crave it. And I think that you can learn to like it and love it. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. So if you're saying, well, I never got that at home and everything else, try it, because the more you get it, the more you want.
And the more you give, the more you get.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a good place to end.
Okay, then.
So go out and hug somebody, do a church hug if you want to.
Or a bear hug if it's your significant other.
Yeah. Just touch.
Yes.
It's amazing because we'll sit on the couch. I know we're going to end this, but we'll sit on the couch. We got a big couch, and we will literally hold each other's hand on the couch. And we've been married 35 years, guys. So
we just love it.
Yeah. So I like to suck her toes.
Oh my God.
And on that, I think we'll end it.
Well, I do have cute toes.
She got Fred Flintstone feet, for God's sakes. They ain't cute.
Yes, they are. I have adorable feet.
Yeah. Okay. Love you.
I love you.
Okay. With that, guys, we're going to sign off and go and
have a great week and go kiss your partner.
You got it. Bye.
Bye.